So whether you've been growing your plants indoors on a window ledge or, like me, in a greenhouse, before you put them out in the garden, you want to acclimatise them a little bit. And there's a few different ways that you'll see that being done, but I'm going to try, as usual, and keep it really simple for you guys. So one of the things that I need to get doing soon is I'm going to have to get this beetroot out and planted because it's getting quite big. But if I put that out there now, with the way the weather is a bit changeable, chances are I'll probably lose at least some of these little plants. Even worse if it's something that you've put loads of work into, like your peppers, your chilies, your tomatoes, your herbs. So what we do is we put them out gradually to get them used to it. So why do we talk about hardening off plants then? Why don't we just put them out into the garden? Well, the most obvious thing you're probably all thinking about is the temperature. Quite clearly, especially here, although it's technically spring, it has been snowing on and off the last few days and we're into proper minus temperatures at night. So you maybe don't want to take those little gorgeous seedlings from the window ledge where it's all cosy and safe and put them out when it's freezing cold. But also, and this is something a lot of people don't realise, but we're also talking about sunlight. Because yeah, sunlight is awesome and our plants need it and want it and love it. But they're a bit like us. You know that whole thing where we spend loads of time indoors, like winter, and then you go out in summer and we're all just that wee bit pale and a wee bit sensitive to the sun? Let me tell you about what happens in Scotland. As soon as there's a tiny little bit of sunshine in Scotland, we have this phrase where we say, sun's out, taps off. Basically that means all of the young guys are in the park with no shirts on. And then for the next few weeks, there's an awful lot of sore, pink, verging on red, burnt skin around. And that's the same with your wee plants. You don't want to put them out into lots of bright sunlight too quickly, because when they're all grown on indoors and under cover and that type of thing, they're a tad delicate still. Those leaves aren't quite as thick and durable as they might be, so we want them to build that up gradually. And that's hardening off. And we do it like this. We simply do it in stages and building it up gradually. Usually the traditional thing to do is to do it using maybe a week at a time in the different environments. So that might be, maybe you're going to put your plants in a cold frame before they get planted out in the garden. Or like me, put them under cloches before you put them out in their final places. Or from the window ledge to the greenhouse. No matter how you do it, it's about doing it gradually and building it up over time. So I'm going to get started with these. So these are plants that will live out in the garden. So I want them to get used to being in the garden. The best, most awesome way to do this would be if you've got cold frames and you can put them out into the cold frames during the day. Let them get a bit of sunshine. It's a bit warmer during the day, but then you bring them back in at night and you maybe do that for a week. And then the next week you have a wee risk and you leave them out in the cold frames overnight. See that thing I was saying about the gradual building them up? Once they're happy out in the cold frames and the garden's the right temperature and environment that you want, you can then take them out of the cold frame or open the cold frame and let the air in and the temperature in and leave them there and start building them up that way. To just take your time, little bit at a time, through the tiers before it's time to plant them out. And it's exactly the same concept, going from the window ledge to maybe the greenhouse or from the cold frame to the garden. It's that little and build it up, get their strength up. Now, I don't have a cold frame. What I have though, you guys know, is all these different cloches. So I use them a bit like a cold frame. I put the plants in here to let them get used to things, and I'll leave them out here during the day when it's sometimes a bit sunny, but it's definitely warmer during the day. And at night, I will take them back into the greenhouse And I will keep doing this and building it up. And then, as you can see, I've got some here. They've already been out and they're now out here all the time. And one day, this will come off and these will get planted out in the garden. That's hardening off, little and often.